Hi, Michael Knight with 47products.com. With YouTube changing its community policy, I felt that it was important that I put out an update video, just to kind of let you know where my stance is with it. And this happens to also be March 24th, 2018, so it's the date of the March on Washington for gun rights, or for gun restrictions, I guess is the better way to put that. These kind of had got me thinking about the Second Amendment and what it means to me, and I really wanted to kind of put together my thoughts around that in relation to these things. So the second part of the Second Amendment, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, is pretty self-explanatory. Where we seem to have sort of a confused idea is that first part, where a well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state. Well-regulated, a lot of people think of that in terms of the regulations that we have today, that we have government oversight, and that's not really what regulations means in that sense. That's in the time when this was written, well-regulated meant well-supplied. It meant well-trained. If there came a time when the people were needing to protect their liberty against an enemy, foreign or domestic, there wasn't going to be a time to arm those people. There wasn't going to be a time to train those people. They needed to come with their own rifles, with their own supplies, with their own ammunition. They needed to be able to respond at a moment's notice, to be able to protect their own liberties. It was the responsibility of each individual person to protect their liberties, and then as a whole we protected the freedom of the state. So that's what the Second Amendment means to me. So a well-regulated militia, meaning people that have access to firearms, that they own firearms, that they have ammunition, and yes, even scary military-style weapons, all of that is within the purview of the Second Amendment. Now, in light of that, and in light of the marches that are happening in Washington right now, where people are petitioning our government to take away our rights, they're petitioning the very people who the Second Amendment says we need to be careful about. Those people, they're petitioning them to take away our rights. A right to protect ourselves against tyranny that would come from them. It was in that thought process that I realized that what I needed to do today was to go to a gun range. So I went over to a buddy of mine's house who has a gun range, and I put some rounds down range today. And you may look at that and think that I'm sort of thumbing my nose at them, that it's an act of defiance against them. But it's not. I understand where they are. I understand their thought process. I understand why they're doing what they're doing. But I don't feel as though if they get what they want in terms of the legislation that it's going to have the impact that they hope that it will have. In this nation we have a history of taking things away from people. The temperance movement took away alcohol. And ironically, that taking away of alcohol, making that illegal, is what got us our first gun regulations in this nation. The NFA, the National Firearms Act, came out as a response to people like Al Capone and those gangsters that came to power and prominence through the temperance movement. That when we outlawed alcohol, we created this huge black market, this massive amount of money that went to very bad people to provide to the citizens what it is that they wanted. So making something illegal didn't take it away from anyone. All it did was made the money not go through legal channels, but go through back channels, and gave power to incredibly horrible men. And those men took Thompson machine guns, a military-style weapon at the time. They took those Thompson machine guns and through the St. Valentine's Day massacre, murdered many people, and the fallout that came from that moment in time gave us the National Firearms Act, which outlawed fully automatic weapons in the hands of regular citizens in a long sense. There's history there. Feel free to do the history. I'm not going to go over it today. But that was the first gun regulations that we had. It came from outlawing alcohol. So those people that are petitioning our government right now, I understand where they're at. I understand their mentality. I just don't feel as though they're going to get what it is they want, even if they get the regulations that they're calling for right now. As far as my channel, I don't believe as I have a First Amendment right on YouTube. This is their platform. If they want to take away my channel, because my channel, I manufacture a gun accessory, I show how to install that gun accessory, and I link to a website that sells that gun accessory. So every single one of my videos, I believe, violates the community standards. If they want to take them down, great, take them down. But again, the the intent of what the change that they're making by going with the angry mob that's yelling at them right now is to try and get these gun accessories and gun videos off of YouTube, where my gun accessory takes a one of those scary high capacity magazines, those 25 round magazines, out of a gun, and it makes it so that way you've got to load a round into the gun every single time you want to pull the trigger. So it makes the gun safer. But because of them implementing the desires of the scary screaming mob, now my product is illegal according to those community standards. So unintended consequences, not well thought out, but it is what it is. So what am I doing with the channel? I don't know. I'm going to keep doing what it is that I'm doing. I'm not taking down my videos. If they want to take them down, fine. I have many other projects that I'm working on. Most of them aren't even gun related, so you'll see those continue to come out on this page. I wanted to stop though and also thank those people who have invited me into their communities through this project. I put a Facebook post together about a great-grandfather that was teaching his great-grandson to shoot. Being part of that is ridiculously humbling. Being able to interact with him and understand what it was that he was trying to do, and actually work with him. He ended up having some feeding issues, and I made a custom magazine, just a magazine replacement specifically for him. Just having that interaction, being able to be part of the passing on of a love of shooting across generations is wonderful. I've worked with a father and son out of Australia, where the father has neuropathy, has dexterity issues with his fingers, and he wasn't able to load magazines anymore, but they wanted to continue to shoot, and they felt that a single shot tray for their 10/22s would be a great way to do that, and so we got some out to them too. So many more. All the different just messages that I've gotten from the people that I've been able to ship to across the country, across the world really. It's incredibly heartwarming, the stories that I have from all of you, and so thank you for that. If what I've said here somehow puts to words what it is that you think, feel free to share this video. Take some time also to look up your representative, and it doesn't matter what party that representative is from, whether they're pro-gun or anti-gun, it doesn't matter. Look them up, call them, both state and local. If what you feel is that the Second Amendment is in place so that way you have the ability to take care of your responsibilities for protecting yourself and protecting your family and protecting those around you. Call them and let them know that. Let them know that it's not negotiable, that this isn't something that they can take away, that this was a safeguard that was put in place by our founding fathers, and this safeguard goes beyond government. This is our right. It's the Bill of Rights. And they're our rights, and they cannot be taken away. They've treaded on them enough. They cannot take them away. Call them. Be respectful. Don't tell them that you're just going to vote them out and get confrontational. Just be very forthright. This is what I believe. This is why I believe it. This is why it's not negotiable. It's that simple. Just take the time to call both your state and your federal representatives. To those people who don't agree with me, reach out to me, talk to me. I feel as though one of the best things that we can do whenever we come to an impasse is to educate each other on our perspectives. So have a good dialogue with me. I'm not some horrible monster that wants to see kids die. Now, I've got 2 girls that are in school as well. I want them to be safe, and I feel as though the right way to protect them is the same way we protect our elected officials, that we should have things in place to make certain that evil people with awful intentions are not able to enter a school. I feel as though that is the right way to do things. Talk to me. Let's have a good dialogue. Let's get to know one another as human beings, instead of just continuing to let hate be the fuel for things, because it's not right. It won't get us anywhere good, and we certainly won't come to a place where we're going to be a safer and more harmonious society. It just won't happen fighting through YouTube memes or something to that effect. So thank you. Again, if what I've said here resonates with you in any way, feel free to share it. I would be happy to hear back from you as well. Have a wonderful day.